Ottawa has no plans to recognize Taliban as legitimate government of Afghanistan, Trudeau.
Here's a summary of the article.
Liberal leader Justin Trudeau put the pin back in a political grenade today by firmly declaring that Canada will not recognize the Taliban regime as the legitimate government in Afghanistan. Watch. Justin Trudeau says government has no plans to recognize Taliban. The Taliban continues to be listed as a terrorist organization by Canada and its allies, something that's unlikely to change anytime soon. The Taliban need to ensure free access to people to get to the airport, Trudeau said. In Kabul, during their first news conference since the stunning collapse of the elected government of former President Ashraf Ghani, Taliban spokespeople insisted they want peaceful relations with other countries and would respect the rights of women within the framework of Islamic law. The pressures of the federal election campaign, coupled with bitter memories of Canadian troops fighting and dying in Afghanistan for over a decade, has led to a rare degree of consensus among federal opposition parties on dealing with the Taliban. Bloc Québécois leader Yves-François Blanchet also weighed in on the issue today, telling reporters in French the government should not recognize the Taliban because its values are opposed to those of Quebec and Canada.
This post received a score of 7,100, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Pawnee. Welcome Taliban soldiers, 2021.
Hail Zorp.
They gonna recognize the guy who fled the country with as much cash as he could stuff into a few cars?
Dude also got elected in an election where 3.1 million votes were cast, in a country of 32 million. And that was after discarding about 800,000 as a result of a voting fraud investigation. So really, what legitimacy did the other guy have anyway?
Gets even worse in the most recent election. In 2019, less than 19% of eligible voters bothered to vote, and only 25% of the country is even eligible to vote in the first place. Ghani was elected by less than 5% of the population.
The turnout being low is a valid discussion point, but the amount of votes compared to the total population including minors isn't one. That's how it works in every country. There's just a lot of young people in Afghanistan because of the birth rate. If not, you could just as much say Biden got elected by 24% of the U.S. population.
Just for the record, 24 is much bigger than 5.
And I would say it that way and see it as a problem in the U.S. too. It's part of why our republic is unhealthy.
The fact that children can't vote is part of why our republic is unhealthy.
So then what is the alternative? Just declare Afghanistan as an ungoverned nation with no sovereignty? Not being facetious, I'm actually curious.
They could pretend Ghani is still in charge, even though he already resigned. When foreign policy isn't based in reality, there's no end to what you can do.
Juan Guaido as the new Afghan preside.
I can assure you that no Talib is losing sleep over this.
I wouldn't be too sure about that. Germany, for example, ended all development aid for Afghanistan today. We are talking billions of dollars here. The Taliban have to provide for their people if they want to stay in power, and they gotta find other sources of income ASAP. I know they are able to produce poppy seeds and weed, but winter is coming and agriculture isn't gonna be their cash cow till next summer.
Monies from China is coming.
Pakistan will jump to help, I'm sure, as will anyone who has interest in region or its leadership.
Pakistan is a recipient of aid money from the United States. They'll support the Taliban politically and with connections as they always have, but not with cash, not with development money or expertise, and not on the scale of Western countries.
Pakistan receives aid from the US not because they are poor or because they can't provide for themselves. You should note that Israel also receives that aid. US foreign aid has nothing to do with philanthropy, it's corporate handout in disguise. The aid money comes with the condition that it can only be spent on a pre-approved list of private businesses, who had given Congress people a lot of money to be on that list.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.